I'm Anya, and I'm a singer-songwriter and producer, and I make music in my bedroom. I'm also a hopeless romantic and a professional romanticizer of life. Welcome to my YouTube channel, where I document my life as an independent artist and show you what it looks like when you're the CEO and CFO of your very own mini music venture. So sit back and relax, grab an aesthetically pleasing drink and snack, and join me on my adventure of taking music from an idea on the Voice Notes app to a fully completed song and music video that ends up residing forever on the World Wide Web. Let's go! Ultimately, this is a song about not settling, about believing in the magic of true love, because the reality that you experience is the reality that you make, baby. I have always been a complete hopeless romantic, but also idealist when it comes to love. And I think it's because I grew up in a family where it's abundant, and I was raised by parents who very much truly deeply love each other, and so that was always sort of the standard, the blueprint for me, and it's always what I expected and envisioned for myself as well, which is also part of the reason why I haven't dated. I don't want to date just for the sake of it, you know. I want it to be the real thing, but I always thought that was sort of a minority opinion. But then last year I posted this random TikTok about how you obsess over fictional men, but then real men don't compare, or something like that. And there was a comment that said, "Girl, don't settle, keep going for the thing." And I was like, wow, okay, maybe this is a more common sentiment among women my age. And so I wanted to make a song about that, sort of like as a reminder that what you get to experience is very much up to what you make, and to sort of keep believing in the existence of this true, pure, forever love, and to not settle for anything less. I had the chorus for this song written for a very long time. I wrote it in the spring of last year.
When I fall in love, all the sparks will fly, lighting up the night like the fireworks on the 4th of July. The city will ignite, magic, wonder, thunder, striking through my heart. When I fall in love, all the sparks will fly, looking in his eyes. Oh, 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 oh.
And I initially thought it was gonna make it on the Hopeless Romantic album, but then it very much felt like an introductory song, and at that point I was already halfway through the storyline of the Hopeless Romantic. So in a way it would have to replace the Hopeless Romantic song, you know, the first song on the album. So I was like, you know what, I'll just table this song and maybe I'll pick it up later. But I kept coming back to that chorus because I thought it was really solid from a songwriting perspective. The melodies I thought were some of the strongest I'd ever written for a chorus melody. And so it almost felt like a missed opportunity to not actually make a song out of it. And then as I was planning out the releases for this year for the bookstore songs, I was like, you know what, there's still that one that I wrote and kind of never made anything out of it. And so initially it was just a song about having almost like a meet cute song, you know. It almost had a very similar storyline to what the Meet Cute had on the Hopeless Romantic album. It was about, oh, we will meet under the moonlight and whatever, and it'll be perfect, and I'll know from the moment that I see him that he's the love of my life, or whatever. But that just felt a little bit too cheesy in a way. I wanted something a little bit more deep, a little bit more profound, perhaps something a little bit more from my personal experience, especially because last year's songs, a lot of them were based on rom-com plot lines, not necessarily my own personal life. So I was like, why don't I write a love song that's very specific to me and how I view all of it? And that's how I came to making it about not settling, about wanting to have this perfect forever love or nothing at all, you know, that ultimately it's better to spend the rest of your life by yourself and be happy and content with that than to be in a relationship that you know could be better. It took me a while to get to the point where I realized that had to be the plot of the song. There were so many different versions that I was kind of reworking the verse basically all of this year, all of winter. I knew I wanted to keep the chorus. I tried to rewrite the chorus lyrics, just did not work as well. Like just the syllables and the vowels that I use in the chorus work really well with the melodies, and the vocals resonated really nicely. I was like, I have to keep it like that. But with the verse, it felt like that was the place where the storytelling would happen in this song, where the context would happen. Because the chorus really could be going anywhere from the way that it's written. You could you could sort of deviate the storyline in many different directions. So the verse would have to have the core of the plot in it. And I had so many different versions of it. There was one where it was like summer love in New England, like a New England summer. And then there was summer by the lake. And there were all these weird storylines. And it was just strange. You know what? I'll take a screenshot of them and I'll put a few up over my screen so you guys see what I mean. So many lyrics for this one. It's always when I'm writing songs, I'm in the notes app, and when I feel solid about a section, I'm like, okay, these are the lyrics, like at least the starting point, these are good enough for me to sort of work from here. I will write them down, like verse, chorus, pre-chorus, whatever, but everything that I'm not sure about, that are sort of just ideas, not fully fleshed out yet, or I'm not sure if the lyrics are really good, I put at the very end of the song under a section that I titled Extra Lyrics. And so you can tell how torturous a certain songwriting process was by the amount of lyrics that I have in the extra lyrics section. And this one has so many extra lyrics. I had no clue where this song was gonna go, and it took me a while to get to the whole not settling idea, but when I did it felt like what it always was supposed to be, because it was very much me. I was very much speaking from my own personal perspective, you know? Even the lyrics, what's the point of a romance if it's not there to stay? You know, I very firmly believe in not dating just for the fun of it, or just like one night stands and flings. I'm not into that. I'm very much much more romantic and poetic in that way. I'm like, no, it needs to be something tangible and something with the potential to be the real thing in order for me to invest my time into it. And I think that comes also with being comfortable with yourself. You know, I really like spending time alone. I don't mind it. I'm very comfortable with it. And so I think, especially when you've done that for as long as I have, something has to be really deep and very concrete to break through that wall, and in order for me to be like, hey, you know what, let's do this. I'll set some time aside and spend it with another person, you know? So I think the longer I will be by myself, the higher the standards will be. But that's not a bad thing, you know? That's what this song is about, is like, don't be afraid to expect a lot. That's how it's supposed to be. It's your life. It's the one love of your life. It's almost one of the most important decisions that you make in your entire life. It should be perfect. It shouldn't be something that you take because in the moment you didn't have any other options, right? You should be deep down absolutely sure this is it. Similarly to how the songwriting process was tricky with this one, the production was also driving me crazy. I was trying to find ways to once again draw a parallel between the lyrics and the actual production. So I was sort of scouring the lyrics, especially the chorus lyrics, to see what hint there could be as to what the production would be. And one of the lyrics in the songs talk about that the city will, lighting up, when I fall in love, all the sparks will fly, lighting up the sky like the 4th of July. And I was like, okay, 4th of July, that's a very quintessential American holiday, you know, and it's very much symbolizes American summer. And so I was like, how do I bring some of that Americana influence into the song, into the production? I was like, what is the most quintessential American musical identity? Country, of course. And so I reached out to Victor, who has been playing live bass and guitar on my songs for the last 2 years, ever since the 12 months project, the calendar songs. He's absolutely incredible. And I was like, hey, can you lay down or record some country-ish guitar for this song? You know, I sent him a recording of my voice and chord progression on the piano that I recorded right here. And I was like, hey, can you like make guitar and bass over this? And he came back with just the most sparkly, bright track that I could ever hope for. He did actually multiple tracks. He added a synth in there, he added bass, he added layers of guitar, and it was just great. It had that tinge of country in it without being too costumey or almost exaggerated, like all of a sudden I'm country. It just had some influence of that, but it wasn't too exaggerated. And so when I first heard that, I was like, great, why don't we leave this super sparse the entire production? Let's just keep it very easy, breezy, just layer maybe a few vocals over it, but like that's it. So like a couple guitar tracks, vocal, and the bass. But of course, knowing me, I should have known better. I should have known that as soon as I would import the songs into my Logic session in my computer, I would just need more, because I'm very, it's so funny. Every time I set out to do something simple, I find ways to not make it simple at all. I think that comes from my theater background, or loving ABBA and all of those artists and style of music that is very much over the top. There's always so many things happening, counter melodies, and I think my preference is very heavily lie in that direction. And then it's also how I view my own songs. And so when I was making this, it went from, just like a simple, easy breezy country song to like layers of MIDI strings and synths and guitars. And then in the bridge, there's a giant section that almost sounds like, I wanted to bring some of that Disney influence in there. There's this counter melody that goes from the lead vocal where you go, all I want is to feel it, believe it. And then there's this swelling, almost like orchestral melody underneath. It goes bam, bam, down, 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 down. And I really like the contrast of a melody being relatively static and then having something that's a completely different melody that sort of rises through underneath, and they complement each other really well. And it helps to rise the tension in that section, because I always felt like I was missing some drama in that part of the song, because that's like the pinnacle of the song. It's like, all I want is this, kissing in the pouring rain, where it's just like the movie, just like a fairy tale. It's dramatic. And so I was trying to find ways to bring that drama into the production, and it was with these giant strings, and then I layered a ton of vocals over it. This song alone has like 85, 86 vocal tracks for this song. That's what I'm saying. Like, from being a simple song, it turned into this massive production. But I really enjoyed it. I think all the little puzzle pieces came together. I think the demo part of the song is done, and it is now ready for drums to be added by Chris, or not like fixed. The drums that I have in now suck. They're terrible. I had no idea what to do with them. And then after that, it's Yoed for strings, which this one is actually interesting. I'm not going to do a bunch of live strings, because a lot of the strings in the song kind of work like synths almost, so they need to be super tight and electronic sounding. So I think there's only a couple of string parts that will be actually replayed live. Most of them I'm going to keep in these digital strings, which I think kind of works for the song, because it needs to be very compressed and tight sounding. Otherwise, it'll sound messy, I think. Anyways, that's that. Buongiorno! It is officially Vocals Day for When I Fall in Love. Also, this song turned out to be kind of country, which I'm not mad about. So I'm wearing my little Johnny Cash shirt, the Man in Black, to go with the vibes. Wall art is popping. Wall art, words. Anyways, final vocals. There's some things I need to fix in the production. It's opened up back. No, not there. 1 second. It's open before. But there's this one thing that I noticed when there it is. When I was listening back to it a bunch, there's something in the chorus of the first chorus of the song. There's like these little nice tremolo strings, and I'm gonna end up using digital strings for that. I don't have that recorded live because I want kind of like a synthy effect. And tremolo is like when they play really fast, almost like not a vibrato, it's like a fast vibrato is what tremolo is. They kind of go like that with the bow when you play the strings, that bow. Anyways, there's this effect that kind of does like a really fast crescendo, almost like a riser in the chorus. So it's like when the strings will fly, like that. It's a very accurate description of what that sounds like. Anyways, the way that I edited the volume change of that, not great. So I need to go back in and change it to do like a bigger crescendo and to start at a different time to fix that. And then it is time to do the vocals. I don't have the final drums for this yet, and this song has been driving me crazy. It started off as one thing. I thought it was going to be this like toned down indie pop country thing when Victor was recording the guitar and bass for this. Did an amazing job, incredible guitar tracks, because I don't know how to play guitar. So I was like, can you just lay down something for me to produce around? Did that. I put it in my session. I was like, I'm just gonna keep it super chill. And then of course I didn't, because of course I always go over the top with it. And I added so many things, so many production tracks, that then that initial idea didn't make sense anymore. And then it was completely lost with the drums. I messed it up. So Chris, who has been recording drums for me for the last year. So he did everything on the Hopeless Romantic album and this year. He's incredible. He works out of Germany. He's German. He has a little studio set up there. And so he did a version of it because, of course, he did, because he's great. And we kind of decided to go different directions. So, I don't know, this song, it better turn out good, because I've been losing my mind over it. There's so many pivots that I did in this song. I was like, and we're going here. Oh, just kidding, pivot. Oh, just kidding, pivot. And so it happened so many times that I really hope that when it does come together, it's good, because the road to get here has not been smooth at all. Anyways, I am now ranting. Let's go track vocals.
Eternity later.
I am officially done exporting everything right now. Came out to 87 vocal tracks. Halfway through the day, I thought I was gonna give up and just go to it another day next week, because I was like, I have no idea what's happening. This is not vibing, it's crazy. And then I ate a little something, and then I came back, and then I finished it, and now I'm kind of happy with it. There's a lot of vocals happening. I'm not good at mixing. No one will have a hard time mixing all of this, because there's so many things in this song. But I always prefer to have more, and then we mute things if it's too much, than feel like I'm missing something. So now I think I recorded so much that we might even have to mute a couple of things, but at least it's there. And we did it. Now I'm done for the summer. Now I just get to finalize this and enjoy it and make the video next weekend. Put that into the video as well. And so I put on some cowboy boots, this cute little red dress with some flowers. I did my nails with these little tiny red flowers. I did them at home, which, by the way, COVID era taught me how to do nail art by myself, which is great. It's a great skill to have when you're on a low budget. And me and my mom went out to the hills around our house and filmed this, and it was so fun, but so wild, because I kept walking back towards the sun, and so it was there were moments where I was like, what am I doing? This is so strange. Like, my arm movements were weird. But luckily we went early enough for us to sort of be in the groove and get the correct take by the time the sunlight was just perfect, like the sun was just setting. And so it was actually, I think it was the last take or second to last take that we did that night, ended up being the one. And it was just, everything just worked out really nicely. The patch of grass, the area we were in, was just perfect at that point as well. You know, it was a long straight line, so I could walk backwards, because in the video I'm walking backwards and doing all these dance moves. So I just wanted it to be genuine and joyful, you know. And there are some, like, my hair gets messy, and like I twirl, and the dress gets messy, and all of that. And I think it's part of it. It's part of that feeling of the song that I wanted it to embody, is this just sort of breezy summer joy, or this anticipation, but also a self-assurance in what you believe in. I think that the song and the video ended up capturing that the way that I envisioned it. Officially done. We did it in so many different lightings, so many different takes. One of them better be good. But this was fun. I've been wanting to film something here for so long, because it's so pretty and so unique, and it's kind of giving Montana country, and this song is kind of giving country, so I think it makes sense. Fingers crossed. I'll go back home, review all the footage. I hope it brings a little bit of sparkle into your summer days, and I mean literally throughout the year, not just summer, but summer especially. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one, I guess. I was talking a lot with this. All right, bye. Okay, growing up I read books about enchanting bliss, falling head over heels, sealed by a true love's kiss. Embers in the air, flickers everywhere, a fire you just can't miss.